You're doing everything, creating content, showing up, launching offers, and yet you're still not getting paid what you deserve. Listen, I've had burnout landed me in the ER more than once. I've had launches stall, energy tank in months where I couldn't even post because I was so dang depleted. And I've worked with clients who are in the exact same cycle, pouring out until there was nothing left. But here's the truth: more effort doesn't always mean more money. And quite honestly, Sweet Pea, you're doing too much of the wrong things for your soul. Before we dive in, grab my Clear the Energetic Gunk Ritual and Mystic Maintenance Mode GPT. It'll support everything we're about to cover, links in the description. So, look, there's a special kind of frustration that comes with being exhausted and broke. It feels like you're fighting your way out of a paper bag underwater with iron shackles around your ankles. Every time you get to complete one thing or get something handled, another thing is being dumped on your plate. And you don't even understand everything that's blocking you. So instead of the sigh of relief that comes with completion, it's a whole lot of what the what? You feel like you're going to explode. I've burned out more times than I can count. Complete full system shutdowns. There were months where I could not post or promote, not because I didn't care, but because I couldn't. My nervous system was absolutely fried. So I understand where you're coming from. You're building this sacred thing while working, caregiving, healing generational patterns, and oh, yeah, the world keeps spinning around with all its ding ding drama. That's enough to make anyone want to give up or splinter. Yet you and we came here on a mission. We came here to do our soul's work. And I want to make sure this is super clear. Your soul work shouldn't come at the cost of your actual soul. Let's take a step back for a moment so we can understand what's happening in real time. Most of us learn to grind before we learn to receive. So, what do I mean by that? As a child, were you rewarded for cleaning your room before you were actually done cleaning the room? How about doing your chores before they were actually finished? Perhaps you were rewarded with smiles and clapping of hands for those big, bodacious first steps before you took them. No? Me neither. And I'm the same way with my kids. They get rewarded after completing the work. That's how hustle hard has been drilled into us since before we could even speak. That's why when we take action and it's not working, our default is to do more. You post more, you launch more, you try to push through thinking maybe this time, it'll actually land. This is the burnout income trap. Effort keeps going up and income stays stuck. Take a look at it compared to what we think should happen. Effort goes up, income goes up. Except that isn't what happens. Or compared to what we dream will happen. Effort goes up and slows down. See it? And the income keeps going up. You know, that's possible, even plausible. I promise I'll get into it a little bit more later in the video. The main thing I want you to realize is this. People think you're doing great because you're visible. Maybe they see you everywhere because you are doing the most to be seen. But what they don't know is that you're burning out behind the scenes. See, what nobody told us is hustle repels alignment. This is why what you learned in childhood is failing you as an adult in real time. The more you force, the more things stall. Yes, this contradicts the standard advice of hustle harder because Hustle harder will only lead you to crash because you don't have the same kind of support or, dare I say, lack of responsibility that bro marketers promoting this lifestyle have. So hear me and put this in your brain box. You perform so much invisible labor. That's why hustle harder doesn't work for you. You've got nothing left to hustle with. I say this from experience. I had to make some changes in my life to stop burning myself out all the damn time. Once I realized there's no fixing my business through hustling harder, I leaned into my knowing, my intuition, and I started aligning deeper. There were several areas where I made changes, and I want to share three of those with you right now. I focused on my nervous system, my offers, and my pricing. Listen, I know that sounds pretty basic. I promise you, it's deeper than you think. So, one of the things I did was reclaim my nervous system. I'm guessing you and I are a lot alike. We're not designed to go hard 24/7. Honestly, no one is. We can do short sprints of going hard, followed by a time of rest and rejuvenation. We are cyclic beings. There are two examples of this that you've likely experienced. One is needing to go without sleep or minimal sleep for a period of time to accomplish some kind of goal. You might have done this because of a deadline at a job. Most people have experienced that. Or you may have done this while tending to an infant. Oh, those were some days. Another example is when you get this burst of inspiration. It just hits you. You do all the research and doing, you go all in. That's me when I get an idea for my business, or my oldest when they happen across a new kind of craft. You're so inspired that time literally doesn't exist. Notice for all the examples, each of these is a season, not a lifestyle. And because they're seasons, this type of going hard is sustainable. Now, I use the word sustainable loosely here. I want to point out one is derived out of external pressure, my lack of sleep example, that runs havoc on your cortisol level and your body. So I avoid those kinds of seasons at all cost. Even extended sprints could send your body into breakdown. Lord, ask me how I know. Mm. The second example of inspiration, right? It's an internal or divine pressure that is an absolute delight to release. Hormone levels don't get wacky and you come out the other side. The needed rest and rejuvenation period, baby, it's not that long. Another thing I want you to think about seasons, not spreadsheets, right? Think in seasons. I analyze data in spreadsheets. I don't run my business inside of a spreadsheet because spreadsheets don't have ebb and flow. Spreadsheets themselves are rigid and orderly, and life just isn't. Hustle harder happens when you try to meet the expectations of a spreadsheet instead of adhering to your energy. Your energy, your vibe is the same energy and vibe for your business. So when you are fried, my friend, so is your business. I was so tired of being fried, out of sorts, or whatever you want to call it. I came to understand that even when I stop hustling harder and embrace my seasons, I still need to do more to maintain my nervous system. That's why I created the Mystic Maintenance GPT. It gives you the energy resets you can use in minutes. My clients absolutely love it. And honestly, they used it in ways I could have never envisioned. I really love that for them and for you too. You can see it running next to me right now. So all you have to do is go in, share what's going on, good, bad, or indifferent. My digital familiar Shimmer, she runs the Mystic Maintenance GPT mode. Just spill the tea with her. And baby, she will witness you. She will set you up with bespoke rituals that you could do in the time that you tell her that you have. If you want access, tap the link in the description or in the pinned comment. All right, we covered the first area I want to share, my nervous system. Another area was my offers. They needed revisiting because I realized that sometimes what's burning you out isn't just how much you're doing, it's what you're doing. I'm not going to go through everything that I changed up. This video would be way too long. So, a quick example is how I switched my discovery calls to Voxer. This was a game changer. I showed up more grounded. My clients felt more at ease. Neither of us felt the need to perform. We could just be together in a cozy container that supports the conversation. So I'm not pointing fingers, but some folks are asking peeps to jump on Zoom when both of them hate it. That's a vibe killer and an energy drainer. So I hate to ask, but is that you? I know it won't be after today, right? I think you understand the necessity of matching your business model to your actual magic. That, my friend, is alignment. So don't let anyone tell you that it's impossible. It's not impossible. Tapping into your intuition, let it lead you to a solution that'll make you stand out in all the right ways in the marketplace. So now that I'm talking about this, I think I might have another idea for a GPT that would assist you in doing this. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you think you might be interested in something like that. All right, we've covered two areas, my nervous system and my offers. So I've got a third one that I'm going to share with you, and that is pricing, right? I hinted at this earlier in the video. I realized that sometimes people weren't buying because my price was too low. So they thought it wasn't worth it, or that I was offering junk, or that I wasn't qualified, or I was new. Other times they weren't buying because my nervous system was still scared of charging for my offer. I couldn't hold the vibration that was required for a certain price point. Now, I promise you there's a balance in there somewhere, right? There's a price you could charge that doesn't undervalue what you do and that your nervous system can hold. I've worked with several of my clients on this. It meant working with them to energetically, right, be a match for the price that felt like a blessing, not a betrayal to them or their people. This kind of alignment, along with offer alignment, means being able to do less and make more. You remember that dream chart, right? We had earlier in the video. Putting what we've discussed with aligned marketing, chef's kiss, it makes it all possible. Now, I have more on pricing and marketing in upcoming videos. And if it's already live, I'll link them down in the description. But for now, just know undercharging is a self abandonment pattern. And we're not doing that anymore. In fact, let me know you're no longer here for self abandonment by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you are done doing too much for too little, the first thing you need to do is get your energy aligned, because strategy without alignment is just another burnout loop. Be sure to grab your energetic ritual and the Mystic Maintenance Mode GPT in the description or the pinned comments. They'll give you the clarity, groundedness, and actual traction. You'll be amazed with what shifts after. Now that you know why you're doing too much and not getting paid, you'll need to make sure there's nothing else stopping your business from supporting you spiritually, emotionally, and definitely financially. Watch this video next. It's the next layer and it'll unlock even more. Until next time, peace, joy, love to you.